Hello everyone, good evening. So for new joiners, my name is Ashwin. I am working as a senior automation consultant in UiPath Systems Private Limited. And thanks for joining today, day 4. So I think today we'll do a quick recap of our last session, and then we'll see other new topics that we are going to explore in UiPath. So yesterday we have been discussed we have discussed about introduction to UiPath Studio, how the UiPath is structured, how many products are there, what is the purpose of UiPath Studio, how they have configured all the packages and activities, all these things in UiPath. So we have discussed all the topics, all the points yesterday, and we have just discussed about a data extraction use case from multiple e-commerce websites. I have demonstrated a simple use case which is something related to Amazon and Flipkart site, and to extract some key product name, a rate, a rating information from Amazon and Flipkart sites for Redmi mobile phones. We have just seen that demo video. I mean live demo, and we have just started the project development yesterday in the web automation. As I said yesterday, so we have four components in UiPath Studio, four types of automation in UiPath Studio. So one is Excel automation, second one is PDF automation, third one is mail automation, and fourth one is web automation. So all these things can be done in the UiPath. Any task which is related to Excel can be like automatable in the UiPath product, which we have to develop in the UiPath Studio. So UiPath Studio is primarily for RPA developers for to develop the automation projects with multiple complexities or with a lot of complexities and the functionalities. The next topic that we have discussed in the UiPath Studio is panels, variables, and the activities in the UiPath Studio. So first today I'll just quickly walk you through the step-by-step procedure of development that we had yesterday, that we have done yesterday, and then we'll see another example of data extraction from Flipkart today, and one more new topic called data entry automation. Okay, we'll see these two new topics today with a step-by-step walkthrough of our last session. Okay, so let me open UiPath Studio. So this is the workflow that we have done. We have developed yesterday to automate the Amazon portal. So we have used open browser activity to launch a browser, Google Chrome browser from our local machine using our UiPath Studio. So we have configured a browser type called Chrome to launch a browser with a particular link called amazon.in, www.amazon.in. So this activity we call it as activity in the UiPath. So as I said yesterday, we have capsules, we have a lot of activities available in the activity panel. So you can go through all the activities in this left hand side. If you see, we have a lot of activities, close to 400 plus activities are available by default in this UiPath Studio. Other than that, we have a lot of other activities also available in the marketplace called manage package. So we can download the required additional activities from the marketplace. That's a separate thing. So open browser activity, I mean, I have created one simple workflow yesterday to develop this configuration or this automation to extract some Redmi mobile information, product name, rate, ratings information from the Amazon site. So I have used open browser activity to launch a browser from the local machine automatically, and I have used type into activity with indicate on screen option to just enter the specific data in the specific area. So Redmi mobiles is my key information that I want to filter. I want to search in the Amazon site. I have used that information within double quotes, and I have just completed this activity configuration by clicking one single icon called indicate on screen, and I have just passed this information in the double quotes. It will automatically enter the information in the site in the particular place, and then we have used send hotkey activity to click the enter button. which means we have to manually we are clicking the enter button in the keyboard, right, to search the to complete the search. So likewise, we this send a hard key activity will help you to just perform the keyboard shortcuts. So you can enable alt control shift window anything. If you want to say like control plus alt, control plus b, control plus a, something like that, you can configure anything in this. So we have multiple keyboard shortcuts available in this drop down. So I have configured yesterday enter. So enter is a keyboard shortcut that I want to perform in this situation. So once the data, this particular information Redmi mobiles, the keyword has been entered in the particular place, then the bot needs to click the enter button in keyboard automatically. Then we have just used one click activity to filter the Redmi icon, I mean Redmi items alone in the site, entire site, because when I search this entire information, Redmi mobiles, we are getting additional products as well, right? Samsung, Nokia, or all other products as well. Redmi or OnePlus, all these things are like already available in that place. So for us to filter further in this, we just used one click activity to filter further in this area. And we have used data scraping mechanism, okay, that is called data extraction. So the technical term is called data scraping, to extract some information, to extract some structured information from website to the Excel file. Okay, so we have used this component, this data extraction. Okay, in this top ribbon panel, this is called ribbon panel in the UiPath Studio. So we have used this component to extract the structured information from the Amazon site to a data table variable. So within this, like, we have configured multiple things. We have configured product name twice for bot to understand the layout in the Amazon site. So for that reason, we have to configure twice for the product name, twice for the ratings, twice for the rate as well. So within this single configuration, and then it will automatically throw a pop-up for the data spanning to multiple pages, something like that. Yes, our data has actually spanned into multiple pages, so we have configured that S option, and we have clicked the next button dynamically. If you have 15 page to 20 page or 50 page, something like that, it will automatically navigate to all the pages and just extract all the information from the website and it will automatically store the complete information into a variable called data table. So by default, the UiPath will automatically, has created a variable name called extract data table, the variable name, okay, with the data type called data table. Okay, here, if you see, we can see the variables that are available in the flow. You can see the same thing in the variable panel. So you can change the variable types. So as I said yesterday, we have a lot of variable types with the general terms: string, boolean, integer, data table, something like this. Okay, so decimal, something like this. We have the same kind of data types available in the UiPath as well, but you don't like need to initiate any variable in the program, in the workflow. In normal C++ or Java, that you have to initialize a variable with the proper variable type. You have to you have to enter some proper syntax with the proper character number, 24 character, 24 bit or byte, something like that. You have to calculate all these things in the other programming, right? But in the UiPath, like, we don't like need to worry about all these things. By default, it will automatically understand the required information, the length of the character, length of the data, and it will automatically store the required information in the corresponding variable. So here we have configured a 13 page or 20 page information from the Redmi site, I mean Amazon site, with the Redmi product, and we have just used next button to navigate to the multiple pages. And once it is done, like, we have used write range activity. So this activity will help us to write some information into an Excel file. It will bring the extracted information from data table variable to an Excel file. So for that reason, we want to like see the data, right? We want to see the proper data that are extracted in the previous step. So for that reason, we have to use this write range activity to populate this information into an Excel file. And then you can open, I have just configured amazon.xlsx sheet name and the variable. So once it is done, like it will, once the execution has been done, it will create a new file in the project folder. Here it has created a new file with the sheet name 1, and it has downloaded or extracted data will be available in the final output file. So this is the whole thing. This is a step-by-step procedure that we followed yesterday, and we have completed this assign Amazon site, complete I mean Amazon site yesterday. So as I said, today we are going to explore about the Flipkart site as well, and then we'll say one more use case for data entry. Okay. So I have some live demo video for data entry. I'll show later once the Flipkart configuration is done. I'll show that demo video, and then we'll develop the same thing further in this. So for that Flipkart development, let me create a new sequence with the name Flipkart. Okay, you can use the same thing. Flipkart, create a blank, and once it is done, we will also see how to integrate Amazon first, Flipkart second, and it will, and how to execute this program from a common place, something like that. We'll also explore that feature in our today's session. So the same kind of procedure you can use the same thing, browser, open browser activity. So let me quickly complete this. I can open that Chrome. So manually you have to use Flipkart site. Go to there. You can directly go to this area, copy this complete link and paste it over here. Change this site. If you want to use Edge, you can use. If you want to use Chrome, you can use that Chrome. So once it is done, in the background it is there, and we can use type into activity to enter the data within this do. So the configuration is we need to do two step in this type into activity. First step is called indicate element. You have to indicate where you want to type the information. So I have indicated there one single click, left click. So I want to type Redmi mobiles, let's say for example. Okay, and I have done this within double quotes. So now it is ready. The same thing we have yesterday, we have configured send hard key, right? You can use the same thing. Okay, send hard key with the same thing. You can do that with the enter key shortcut, and once it is done, we can use the data scraping method. So let me test this sequence. Click save this flow, click execute. So as I said yesterday, so this is a no code platform. Here we are exploring the web automation feature, and we are just checking how the development will be in the UiPath product, and we are just seeing or exploring a small piece of portion in the web automation. But we have, other than this part we have lot of things in Excel automation, PDF automation, mail automation, and as well as in web automation as well. But this is a 5-day program, so we cannot like see or explore all the components in this 5 days time, 5 hours time. So for you to learn all these things, like minimum you need minimal you need 3 to 4 months time to explore this product, learn this product, and get certified in this area, UiPath certified consultant, something like that. Okay, so that is a separate program that we are offering. So you please reach us out for that to understand how the course will be, how the training program, how get certified for your career, all these things. Okay. So coming back to this execution, yes, we have done. We have executed complete things. If you see, this is 8 seconds. It has executed execution, and it has entered the Redmi mobiles, the keyword in the top area. Now it is ready for data scraping, data extraction. So once it is done, you can minimize this area. You can click here and go to the data scraping icon. Click once, click next, click here one time, and click here second time. So it will build the taxonomy, which means it will identify the pattern. So product name. So let me just provide the column name for this item. If you see, we have that information. We have to change this number 100. This is the maximum number it will display. But if you want to get all the information from 20 page or 30 page, something like that, you just have to change this parameter to 0 and click extract correlate. I want to get this rating information as well from this site. You have to do the same thing for the second item, ratings. Click next. Okay, all the ratings are captured. You can preview this information. Correlate. I want to get extract this rate information as well as other rate. Okay, rate. Okay, that's it. And if you want to get this complete description, you can use this pattern like this simply. Okay, specification spec. Okay, you can use this. You can do this. Yes, done. It has extracted for all the items in the screen. Now it is done. You can click finish. So now it is asking, is your data spanning multiple pages? You can scroll down and check how many pages are there. If you see, we have 10 number of pages available for this single Redmi mobiles item. Yes, my data is spanning to multiple pages. So you have to click yes. Then click next icon. Okay, click next icon. You should not click the numbers, it will not navigate. So we have to click that icon next. Now we have done the data extraction configuration part. So now we have completed the launch, browser launch part. We have configured the navigation product filtering part. Third point is data extraction part. We have configured the data extraction part with this data scraping activity. Now we are going to populate this information, generating this information into an Excel file. So we are going to bring this same extracted information into an Excel file using this right range activity. So this is a Flipkart data, right? Flipkart data.xlsx extension is a mandatory one. Okay, this is something sheet 1, something like this. By default it will create a variable. Okay, it has created extract data table. If you want to change this variable name, you can simply change this variable name saying Flipkart. Okay, click here. So simply you can rename this variable globally, and you can come over here, just enter the first one or two characters of your variable. It will display the variable information in this area. So this is the power of low code, I mean no code. So you don't like need to know how many variables are created. You don't need to worry about the variable names. You can simply use first two characters or letters in your variable. You can just simply double click that variable to assign the information into a specific activity. So now I have configured three information in this activity right range. One is file name, second one is sheet name, third one is the input data that has created in the previous step, extract structured data. Now we have configured everything. Okay. So once it is done, you can use some close option. So which means closing that screen or tab or something else. So I want to close anything. Okay, you can use close window. Okay, once it is done, you have to use outside this. Once it is done, scraped, you can use this. It will automatically close this application once it is completed till the 10th page. So now we are ready for execution. We are ready for trigger. We have completed all the development activity for this Flipkart. Let me close this browser. Okay, why I'm closing is like it will automatically get confused if you have the same look and feel, same layout in the background. So we have configured everything. So now let me trigger the process. So it is launching perfectly without any issue. Now it should enter the data. Yes, perfect. Now if you see in the HTTP URL page, it is navigating to multiple pages. Page 5 is the end of the URL. If you see page 7, page 8, page 9, something like this, like it is going, it is trying to extract all the data, all the product name, ratings, rate, specification information from the screen to an Excel file. So now it is 19, 20, something like this, it is going, and final one or two page. Okay, Okay, I think final page. Okay. So now it is trying to populate the extracted information into the new Excel file, which will automatically create by default in the UiPath flow, and then it will close the application if everything is fine. Okay. Now it is trying to populate and close. If it is if the element is not identified or identifiable properly, then it will throw some error saying like I'm not able to identify the element, something like this. So here it has done completed in 1.5 minutes time, 1 minute 20 seconds time, perfectly, like it has executed without any error, and it has got closed. The application, the Chrome got closed, and you can go there, the page. If you see the Flipkart data, and you can double click, and we have configured that entire information, right? Okay, let me expand this. Okay, so if you see, we have, this is a product name. Okay, I think I missed to add the header. Okay, we have a feature in the right range activity to enable a header in the by default in this execution. So if you see, this is the product name that we have captured. This is a ratings. This column is something referred to rate, and finally this column is something related to specification that we just configured in the data scraping. So if you see, we have, I mean, the bot has scraped almost all the information from the screen. So then and there, like there are some missing information, but still almost close to 80 percent, 90% the data has been extracted from the screen to the Excel file. Then you can use some filter option to compare the best mobile phone with the proper ratings and the specification. We can build a logic in this UiPath uh, to uh, to uh, to understand, I mean, to filter the proper record, and then you can compare the same thing with the Amazon data, which we have done yesterday, which we have configured and executed yesterday. So we can build that kind of logic as well once it is done. Okay, so once the Amazon data has been extracted and next Flipkart data has been extracted, we can build a logic to compare the product wise information with the proper ratings, proper rate, and the specification, and it will automatically predict, and it will show one top top product with the best price information to the user, to us. So based on that, we will take a call to purchase that product from Amazon or Flipkart based on the information, the based on the outcome of that execution. So that's all about the data extraction use case and the development of UiPath. So you must have understand like the concept of development. So you don't like need to worry about the coding part here. If you are arts and science students, engineering students, or anything else, like it will be like very easy to build any kind of automation in UiPath Studio. So you can just imagine, like if you are a UiPath developer, it will be like very easy for you to start your career with the RPA consultant, and you can start your automation development with this UiPath product without any programming language or knowledge. So with the simple drag and drop activity, so here if you see, we have a lot of activities. With the simple drag and drop activities, we can build any complex situation, any complex logic around an application or anything in this area. So that's all about the whole idea of this data extraction and the Excel data population into an Excel sheet. Okay. So the next topic that I want to explain is data entry. So we have completed the data extraction part from Flipkart. Yesterday we have covered, I have explained, and just step by step procedure we have discussed about this data extraction part from Amazon. Okay. So the next topic is called data entry automation. So what is data entry? So data extraction is something extracting the data from the website to a local folder Excel file. Data entry is something different. I mean, this is a vice versa, which means a reverse process. If you have any data in your Excel file or any PDF document or any Word document or something else, if you want to if you want to enter the same information from the document to an application, okay, so here we have a lot of companies that are doing the data entry job. They are sitting and doing the data entry job from seeing one document and entering the same data in a separate application on a daily basis with a 40 member team, 50 member team or 100 member team. They are doing the same job on a daily basis. So this data entry automation really helps organization to automate their process and cut down the human all these things efforts to avoid the human errors and reduce the time, and it will quickly complete the execution. So you must know the concept of execution, right? So in the previous execution, if you see, is just took 1.5 minute time to execute this entire process. So likewise, you can imagine with the multiple products, multiple data, multiple what is that e-commerce sites, all these things. So hardly it will take 10-15 minutes time to complete the entire transaction, and it will provide the required information probably in the place. So likewise, for any job, if they are doing manually with the 4 hours time, 5 hours time, this execution probably will complete in 4 minutes time or 10 minutes time based on the complexity of the process and the application's response. So the data entry, coming back to the data entry job, I mean data entry process. So we have a lot of opportunities in data entry area. So the data entry, in terms of data entry and RPA, so we have a lot of things that we can automate in the data entry market. So for the sake of understanding what is data entry, how it is working, how it is performing, so let me open a simple site for you to understand what is how the data entry will be like happening in this current situation, how it will be like working, all these things. So let me open. I think this use case as explained by Venkat on day one, I think. Okay, he was trying to demonstrate this use case with one demo video, and hope you remember this. Okay, so we have 10 employee data available in a specific Excel sheet that I want to enter the same information in a specific site. Okay, so in the specific site, if you see, let me open the site RPA challenge. This is a site for practice and understand what is data entry job, all these things. So if you see, this is a phone number, last name, role in company, company name, first name, email. So we have some fields available in this area. So you have to manually copy this cell, first name, you have to identify the right place, paste. Then go to the last name, you have to identify the right place to paste the information, company name. Okay, once it is done, okay, once the first information is done, then you have to click submit. Okay, address information, okay, where is the address? Okay, email, sorry, email, where is the email? Yeah, here. And finally you have to enter phone number. Once like it is done, once all the information are keyed or updated in the site, when I click submit, the look and feel of the sites, I mean the position and the fields are something like very different. So again you have to do the same thing for second record, for third record, fourth record, like this 10 records. So what is the basic time will take for this data entry job for a specific one record, for the first record? So as Venkat said, if you remember, probably it will take 5 minutes. Probably if you have a very decent experience in the data entry job, it will be like 4 minutes or 5 minutes for per record. Okay. So hardly if you want to enter this 10 records, you need 10 minutes time to at least 10 minutes time to complete this data entry job. So I have developed this process, okay, in the UiPath Studio. So let me try to execute this process and see what is the time is taking for this execution. Okay, and then I'll show how I have done this, and I'll explain a step-by-step procedure of this data entry use case. So let me close this Excel file, close this browser, close this Excel file as well. So I have a different flow in my machine. Let me trigger this process. So first see the live demo of this data entry. Okay, I have triggered. It is automatically opening the browser, and it is trying to understand the element. If there are any error, it will throw some pop-up, or else it will continue the execution. If you see the data entry operation, yes, started. It has completed the first record, round 1, submit, round 2. So currently it is doing for round 3, which means employee 3. So likewise, round 4, so up to round 10. Okay, 10 employee records are there in the Excel file, right? So it is trying to extract, I mean, it is trying to enter the data in the screen. This is called a data entry job, right? This is a data entry job. So it is just all the data information are available in an Excel file. It is trying to mimic the user or human to populate the information into a specific portal. So this is a final record. Okay, okay, done, completed. And if you see the execution time, I have just tried to generate some log information in the output panel using write line activity or log message activity. But if you see the execution time, as I said yesterday, this is something HHMMYY, hours, minutes, seconds. 1 minute 11 seconds is the total execution time for this entire process. All the 10 records are entered in 1.5 minutes time maximum. Okay, 1 minute 11 seconds, which means roughly 70 seconds time to enter 10 records. Okay, less than a second time to enter the data in the particular screen. With the browser launch, navigate to the required screen and the other stuff, right? So this is the simple use case of data entry which we have which I just want to explain the data entry concept with a simple example. So now what we'll do is I'll try to recreate this process from scratch to do the same I mean try to recreate the same process, the development activity for the same RPA challenge to do the same data entry job with this 1.5 minute time, because this is some the interesting use case. Currently it is in the market, so we just have to understand the uh, data entry of the entire thing. Okay, so let me create a new sequence. As I said, this is again you have to create a new sequence for the data entry job. So I mean any flow, any sequence or any logic that you want to create, then you have to create a new sequence. So let's say for example data entry demo, something like this. Okay, create this. It's an empty blank. I mean it's an empty flow that is created. Now the same thing, the same procedure, okay, which we followed right for the Amazon and the Flipkart. We just have to use open browser activity. Let me manually open the browser. Okay, get the link manually one time. Okay, copy this complete link and paste it over here within double quotes. Once it is done, you can configure this activity with the Chrome, and we are ready for launch. Okay, and I have that Excel file in my local folder, but if you want to download that Excel file, here we have that option called download Excel. You can manually download this Excel file into the local folder. Okay, I have already downloaded manually, but we can automate that as well. Okay, that will take additional time to configure that, but it will be like doable. So I have already done this. So in my local folder, if you see, I have that Excel file. Okay, let me open that file. Within the data, within the input file, I have this Excel file with the name of challenge, okay, with the proper headers and the data. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to use some activity to fetch the data from the local file. So the activity name is called read range activity. In the initial step, then you can directly use this activity to fetch the information from the local file, from the Excel data. You can go to there like this, navigate, enter a new file or choose the file, open the another program. You have to close this. Okay, done. So then manually again, I'm trying to open the file to get the proper sheet name. Sheet 1. Okay, let me copy this name and configure here. So this is a range. You can simply use this empty because I want to get all the required information from the sheet. If I configure something like this, A1 to A1 colon A2, it will get A1 and A2 cells alone from this Excel file. But I want to extract, I want to fetch all the information from the local folder, like Excel file. So let me clear this with a simple double quotes. You have to create a variable in the output to store the fetched information, retrieved information from the local folder to the UiPath workflow. So this is something like employee table, right? Output. So you can simply use right click here. Okay, I'll do the same thing again. You can simply use right click here, create a variable. You can enter your required name, a proper name. Let's say for example, new variable table out, and you can click enter button in your keyboard. A new variable will be like created in this flow. I have created two variables. You can delete one. Okay, you can simply keep one variable and it will be like assigned in this particular place. Okay, it has created with the data table. Now it is ready for the data retrieval from the Excel sheet. Okay, we have configured this open browser activity to launch a browser from our local folder. Once it is done, then the bot needs to click the start icon, start button. Okay, then it will be show, it will display round 1, round 2, round 3. It will iterate all the records, all these things. So we have to configure one click activity here, okay, to click the start, to kickstart the entire execution for data entry. So it is available. You can press delay, scroll down little bit, and you can configure that entire thing like this. Okay, that's it. So we have configured the start icon. Once it is done, when I click start, the round 1 will be like automatically changed from start to round 1. So now it is ready for the data entry. How can I do the data entry dynamically? Because all the positions of fields or something like differ for every screen. Okay, for that you have to do a operation called anchor base. Okay, here you have to create a anchor base activity. This will help you to understand the elements dynamically in the screen. And with this, we have to use find element activity to identify the label properly. What is the label here? Role in company is the label. Okay, the field is something is different. Address, okay, the label is something constant. When I click submit, role in company, the label is something constant, right? It is not like varying for other records. Okay, iterations. So you can simply use that label as a constant one, because the we have to configure a label or position as a point for bot to identify the right information in the right place. So any one of the information is mandatory for bot to identify the right element. So you have to use element activity to identify the right element, and you can use the same thing, type into activity, okay, in the right hand side. Okay, simply can use type into activity here, and you can say let me try with first record test. Okay, I have configured. So likewise you have to do the same thing for another set of fields. Let me try to complete another one or two fields. Okay, find element. Okay, for second last name, okay, type into for the data entry. Okay, indicate on screen. Test last name. Okay, and one more field. We'll take one more field. Anchor base. Okay, for other one or two fields. Find element for to identify the label properly. Address. Okay, type into for data entry. So I have configured 3 items. Okay, this is something we will change this dynamically. Okay, address, that's it. So first let me test this workflow. If it is working, then we can modify to dynamically change the data, which means we have to dynamically change the information from Excel sheet to the data entry, right? Currently, I have hard coded the information. We'll see how to change this data dynamically. So first, let me try how the elements are identified by the UiPath, how it is working fine or not, something like that. So you have to close that Excel file before you execute the process. Close the browser and test this sequence first, and then we'll continue to build the remaining set of fields and the dynamic data entry, which means from Excel file to the proper data entry. Okay, clicked test perfectly entered, right, one time in the screen. Okay, just in 14 seconds time. In the next time it will reduce, it will get reduced. So now it is working fine without any issue. Now we can dynamically change this concept, which means we configure the entire thing as a static concept, which means one time it will enter the data. But if you want to iterate the information based on the Excel sheet, if you have 10 rows, if you have 20 rows, if you have 200 rows in your Excel file, it should dynamically change, right? It should dynamically enter. So for that, in the normal C++ programming or Java or Python, something like that, we have to build one loop activity, right? For each item in this particular variable, I equal to 0, I plus plus, I less than equal to 1. Okay, within this body, we have to use one incremental variable, something like that, right? But here we have a activity name called for each row in data table. Okay, you can simply drag and drop that activity and pass that variable that we have created in the initial step. We have created a variable name called a table out. In the initial step, you can directly pass that variable. You can drag and drop all the activities inside the for each row activity and expand and dynamically change this variable current row. What is a current row? Current row is a pre-built variable, okay, that is already defined by UiPath Studio. In this for each row activity, we can use that variable. Within the bracket, you have to pass a index, which means here we need to enter the role in company from the Excel file, right? So let me open that Excel file to get the index. So role in company, this column is actually available in the D. So 0, it will start with 0, 1, 2, 3. Okay, this is a third index. You can simply configure like this. Okay, 0. My mouse is not working. Okay, 0 dot to string. To string is to convert the data from any type to string type, because it will accept string type only. Type into will accept string type only. So next parameter is last name. Okay, go back. Last name is actually in the B column, 0 and 1. You can simply use current row of 1 dot to string. That's it. We have dynamically changed that. And address. Okay, where is that address? Address is in E column, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, fifth column. Fifth column is email, right? 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. Fourth column is address. Just clear. Current row of 4 dot to string. Okay, we have configured that. And finally, you can use one click activity to click the submit button. You can simply use one click activity, go back here and navigate to this area like this. That's it. Now we have configured this three data dynamically in this workflow. So it will, when I execute this bot, it will first fetch the information from the local folder using this read range activity, and it will store all the information into a dedicated variable, the defined variable called table out. Once it is done, then it will try to execute this open browser activity to launch a browser with this link, and it will try to click the start button. I have already downloaded the Excel file manually, but if you want to automate that process as well, yes, doable. Okay, you can do that, the same thing. And I have used this for each row activity to iterate the Excel data row by row. So the purpose of for each row activity is to iterate the iterate the Excel data one by one, row by row, because the all the 10 rows of information needs to be entered, right? Have to be entered in the site. So using this activity, you can simply iterate the data without too much of complexity, without too much of syntax, without too much of configuration. So you can just relate with the, relate this for each row activity with your normal programming. So in the normal programming, you have to learn the for each syntax, the body, within the body, you have to do some set of 10 lines of code or 15 lines of code for to perform the same kind of job. For that, you have to do some colon, open bracket, close bracket, all the syntax needs to be followed properly. Unless like it will throw some error, it will not execute the program, right? Until you need to clear the all the information, all the proper errors. So here you can compare that entire thing with this for each row activity. It is very simple in UiPath in RPA to just pass the input variable here, use this pre-built variable to configure the data dynamically. Okay, so let me try to close this Excel sheets, Excel sheet and this site. Let me try to trigger the process. Okay, and let me try to trigger the process. Okay, it is working, and click start. Okay, started. Dynamically it is entering the information. Click submit. If you see, just clicking, we have configured three information, right? The time constraint, like I have just configured three information. Likewise, you can configure a number of information in this data entry screen. So it is round 6. Okay, round 7, submit, round 8. So dynamically it is entering the data in the screen from the Excel file. Okay, the last. Okay, that's it. So you can see the total execution time, just 46 seconds. 46 seconds for all the 10 data entry for with the 3 fields, but you can increase all the required fields in the same sequence. Okay, like the same anchor activity, you can configure the same thing for remaining set of fields, balance fields, before the submit. So that's all about the configuration of data entry automation use case. So this is a very simple development in the UiPath. Like you can simply drag and drop the required activity, but for you to, like, you have to understand the activity purpose and the objective, and then like you can understand, you can configure these activities and the workflows very easily without any too much of knowledge of program, all these things. So with this, technically, let me try to close. So that's all about the whole development of UiPath Studio, how it will be, and that's all about the web automation data entry. So tomorrow we'll see any other use case. I'll try to come up with an interesting use case with a different scenario, and we'll explore that as well. So let's have some Q&A. If you have any questions in terms of technical, in terms of UiPath program or something like that, we'll discuss for next 5 minutes. Please post your queries in your live chat. Also, please fill your attendance. Actually, we have pinged the attendance in the live chat. Actually, you can please fill your attendance. The link is posted in the live channels as well, live chat as well. Okay, so no questions. Okay, so after I think you will be receiving a notification regarding a Q&A session on Monday, 6 to 7 p.m. Okay, which is specifically for this task students who are all attended for this last 4 day program, and it is more about a training program which is presented by InnoHat CEO Mr. Venkat Aramudan, and he will be like explaining. He'll explain all the possibilities in this UiPath area and about the course of training. I mean all these things in the UiPath. So we have posted I mean, you will be receiving a notification. Some of you probably have got notification already. Some of you probably will be receiving the notification. So please register and attend the session. So definitely it will be a worth session for you to understand about your career and the training program, how it will be, how it is performing, how we are conducting the training for students, how the whole development will be. If you have any questions, you can discuss with Venkat directly on Monday 6 to 7 time. So you can simply register. You can just register the session for the QA and attend the session, and then you can understand the program about UiPath training from UiPath and the course fee structure, how the training will be conducted, how the certification will be, how this program will be like impact in your career, how you can improve your skill in RPA domain, all these things. So please register and attend the session. So definitely it will be like very worthwhile session for you as a student. So please participate in the register and attend the Q&A session. So if you have any queries about the program, all these things you can discuss there. Okay. Any questions? What is the role of hyper? Okay, I think we have answered. Sir, we need notes. For notes, we don't have notes for this session. This is something like some live session, right? So we have step-by-step procedure to extract data and the data entry. So you please register for the session to understand the step-by-step procedure and extraction of data entry on Monday. So you can discuss with Venkat and me on Monday, 6 to 7 a.m. We'll discuss that. Okay. And the link, the attendance link is pinged in this channel. The notification for Q&A will be receiving through mail and the WhatsApp. Okay. Okay, super. So thank you so much. If you have any queries, if you have any doubts in terms of training a program, immediately you please reach out Venkat Aramudan or Madhu Chakravarti with this following mail ID or number. They'll help you to understand all these things. Okay. So thank you so much.